feds, Secret Service, and once in Washington, D.C., I had to negotiate with a hostage negotiator just for the free speech in America today. Most people don't have a clue about that. And that's just on the sidewalk. I've had to argue free speech from a boat with Harbor Patrol and the National Guard for our right to actually have freedom of speech. And oftentimes when I address freedom of speech, I couple that with religious freedom. The two are in concert, because everything that I say is based upon this. From my perspective as a Christian, this is my religion. This tells me I can address sin. This tells me I can call a woman a whore. I can call a person a fornicator. I can address a sodomite. I can address a drunkard, because this is my religion. So when they try to oppress me on the street, it's not a matter of freedom of speech, because with freedom of speech there are time and place and manner restrictions. What they are doing is oppressing my very core, my religion, which is the Bible. And that is what I use to argue on the streets. It doesn't matter if a person wishes to bow down to a tree. By George, bow away. Just give me the right on that sidewalk to say, fella, it's just a redwood. I would like to introduce you to the creator of that redwood. It doesn't matter if a homosexual wants to prance in the street proclaiming his gayness. Just give me the opportunity to stand on the sidewalk and promote my freedom of religion. That's all I ask. I'm not going to lock arms and block the parade. Just give me my right, my God-given American right to stand on the sidewalk and promote my religion. My religion is going to be offensive. It's going to offend people. But you have to understand, the Bible has been extremely offensive. There are men of God who were jailed. The New Testament was written mainly in a cell of a jail. And many of you believe that you are going to protest things, or you stand up for certain rights. I'm going to tell you right now, if you've never sat in a cell for what you believed in, everything is just nothing more than speculation. With Christianity, there are so many men and women who are jailed for their faith. There is nothing that can compare you to sit in a cell for your faith and your belief. And many of you may think that you're really something because you signed a petition, or you walked a mile for a cause. Let me tell you, when you are cuffed and hauled off for your faith, there is nothing like that. There's no education, there is no seminar that can teach you that. Most Christians, all they know is a Bible verse on persecution. They never sat in a cell for something they believed in. And as an American, I am willing to fight for my right to stand on that sidewalk. And I'm willing to die for my faith. But I am willing to allow you to have and flaunt whatever it is you want to do. I just want that same privilege to do so. And again, it's not a matter of freedom of speech. It is my religion, the Bible. I don't go to just gay rallies and preach against homosexuals. I talk to homosexuals, but I challenge them a little bit differently when they're publicly prancing it in the street. Then I publicly will be just as aggressive as they will. And usually, this is free speech in America. This is what happens. We make such of a stir in the cities that we attend that police departments say, by George, please, Ruben, tell us next time you're coming into town. Like I said, I'm not going to set up a track table and let people walk by. The Bible says for me to preach. That's my religion. That's the core. The word preach in Hebrew, Greek, or good old-fashioned Webster's means to lift your voice. And that's what we do. And yet, we are getting confronted by police that you're not supposed to raise your voice. Before I leave, you'll have a clip of several officers all around this nation and how they are going to shut down the freedom of speech. And I, students, am the yellow canary. I'm the yellow canary in this liberty of freedom that we have. And if they shut me down for my free speech, religious freedom and freedom of the press is next. Don't think for 1 second that's going to happen. You may hate my guts for everything I stand for. You may despise my message and my approach. But once you discriminate against me, then you've opened a door for a lot of other people. Once you've allowed and shut me down, you've opened a door to a dam that can really damage our rights. And unfortunately, most Americans don't exercise the freedoms that we have today. Oh, we vote. We own a weapon. But most people will never stand on the sidewalk with a sign. We'll work for a union. And your union will say, gentlemen, ladies, I cannot negotiate for that 5% raise. You will think nothing about marching on a sidewalk with a sign. But yet, when I use that same sidewalk for a sign, I am a wacko. I am a cult. I am a religious zealot. Blanket me with whatever you want. Just give me that privilege, that God-given American privilege to stand on the sidewalk. Now when it comes to standing before courts, the New Testament has Jesus Christ, who never said a word in court. And then in the book of Acts you have the Apostle Paul, who you couldn't keep his mouth quiet in court. He used every possible scenario. His Roman citizenship. So my religion gives me a large area to spread. And so the Bible says when we stand before judges and kings, don't worry about what we're going to say. There are times where I will argue for 20 minutes for an inch of sidewalk. There are times where our signs are offensive and demanding that we're going to cause a riot. Like I said, you can tell me how much you despise things, but if you never sat in a cell, you really don't know what you're talking about. You can sign a petition until your hand is numb. But to sit in a cell, there is nothing like it. Over the years, I've been arrested and cited for public nuisance, hateful words, inciting a riot, trespassing, loitering. And once during Mardi Gras, myself and another brother was arrested for disturbing the peace in Mardi Gras. Like I said, I get cuffed, I get thrown in a cell. Well, then I start my jail ministry, because you're still not going to shut me out. I'm still going to preach. And if you've never been in a holding tank, it's good to look like I do, because they kind of leave you alone a little bit. And everybody